Hi guys, Jeremy here. We're going to do a test on the FN49 for the kaboom or out of battery detonation. What that means is you're shooting the rifle and the next round, you'll fire the round, it'll pick up the next round, slam home, and actually set off the round before the bolt's fully locked. And generally when that happens is you'll have a case head failure, the rifle will probably get a lot of damage, you may possibly get injured. To check and see if your rifle's capable of having that happen, here's what we're going to do. Prime casing, just a piece of brass, only a primer. You've got an FN49, it's an Argentine model 762. We're going to do is put the brass right in the chamber. You're going to pull it back, put it down, and there you go. When you see that happen, that means your rifle's capable of firing out of battery, and we're going to see how to fix that next. Alright guys, well you just saw that rifle fire with a slam fire. So I've got it in here disassembled. Here's your bolt carrier. First thing I got to do is disassemble this thing. Get you a little pry bar under there, under the extractor spring. Pop it. Pull it down like so. Extractor comes out. Pull your spring out. Hold your thumb at the end of the firing pin so you don't lose it. Once it's turned down, pull it out. There's your extractor spring. Firing pin, rear firing pin. There's your firing pin spring. Or sorry, there's your front firing pin safety stop, and there is a spring in here somewhere. There it is. There's your firing pin spring. Alright, here is the actual culprit in our problem. You take this spring, you put it on your firing pin. Look how short that is. See that in the camera? Very short. Alright, I happen to have a new replacement one here. See the difference? Let me grab another firing pin while I'm looking at it. So you have a worn firing pin spring and a new firing pin spring. See the difference in length right there? Almost a 1/4 inch. Almost. That is what's calling your slam fires or your out of battery issues, and that spring is allowed to have enough inertia that spring, the worn spring, can't stop the inertia of the firing pin and all that mass going forward and hitting the primer. Another thing you need to look at is the firing pin right here. This is a one-piece firing pin. Alright, the early guns, the Venezuelans in 7.57 had those, and some of the Egyptian guns had those. I don't have an Egyptian gun here to show you, but the Egyptians were an 8mm, and a lot of them had one-piece firing pins. If you have a one-piece firing pin in your rifle, do not shoot it. Some people say check it every time you go to shoot it. I'm just saying for 30 or 40 bucks to get replacement parts, you get a two-piece firing pin, which is a rear and a front, and the one-piece spring also had a firing pin spring on it, but the problem is the one pieces would actually bend or tweak, and they would bind in the hole channel for the bolt. So don't shoot these, save them for collectors. There's no replacements, and if you do find a replacement, you still don't want to shoot it. Another problem, part of the safety part, is this firing pin safety stop right here. It goes in the bolt just like that, and what happens is, as your rear firing pin is in there, see that notch right here? The side piece has that arm that cams down, and it physically locks that firing pin from moving. See that? Now if I let up on pressure, firing pin goes in, and so forth. That rides in the top of the bolt carrier. See that slot right there? That's where this piece rides, like this. Alright? So now, there's your firing pin safety stop. Now note, if you've got an Egyptian rifle, Egyptian rifles have this part deleted. Alright? For whatever reason, the Egyptians and FN come to the decision that Egyptians don't want a firing pin safety stop, and they rely on the spring alone, which will work. So just be aware that if you have an original Egyptian gun, you're not going to have this milling here. Or if you do, This is a Venezuelan gun, an early gun. Their firing pin safety stop is what's called a spring type, and this is called a plate type. And I'm not going to pull this out right now because these are very fragile, and they're unobtainium. You can't get any replacement ones, and they're just made different. They're tempered and milled different. This is a lot easier design, does the same purpose, just easier and cheaper to work with. A lot of Egyptian guns have Venezuelan style bolts in them without the associated parts. So, if you don't have a firing pin safety stop, not a big deal. Make sure your firing pin spring is the appropriate length, and this comes out to the tip of the firing pin. If it's shorter than, say, if you're down that far, definitely not a good day to be shooting your rifle. See the difference in length right there? More than a coil or two short from the firing pin, and I'd have a new spring. Cheap insurance right there. Alright, that's pretty much what I was going to cover. So, get your new firing pin spring. Oh yeah, and another thing, if you're going to get the two-piece firing pin, and you have a rifle other than an Egyptian with the firing pin safety stop, you actually have to make sure that your firing pin has that slot in it for the firing pin safety stock to operate against it just like that. If you don't, and you have a solid one without that notch, you're going to have to get a Dremel and cut your own hole to fit. It can be done. Alright, let's put this together and get it back out and test fire, and we'll see what happens. Okay, we're back. Got a brand new firing pin spring in the bolt now. Got a fresh piece of brass with a new primer. Let's see if our problems are solved. That fixes it right there. Simple $2 spring in your bolt will keep your rifle from doing the out of battery slam fire issues, and will make things a lot safer for you. Big thing with these old rifles, people are neglecting the springs, and that's just one of them. You get a new spring for the main spring, but you forget all the other springs in the extractor or the gas system itself, and you never get those done. Anyway, hope that helps your FN49 out. Thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you.